Good afternoon and welcome to Nutmeg Sports on the HAN Network. Frank Granito and Kevin Coleman in studio today. We've got highlights and recap of the girls lacrosse semifinals from Monday night, plus a preview of the HAN Network coverage for the boys lacrosse semifinals coming up later this evening. It'll be Darien and Wilton, followed by Greenwich and Ridgefield from Brian McMahon High School. But first off, let's give a huge shout out, Kevin, to the Ridgefield girls lacrosse team. They will be making their first ever FCAC championship appearance after beating New Canaan yesterday.
What a win that was, and I gotta give both teams a lot of credit. You know, all the teams last night were playing in torrential downpour, especially in that first game, and I gotta give both sides, both coaching staffs, you know, everyone who was on the sidelines a lot of credit, because that was a rough time to be outside, and I gotta give both sides a lot of credit. It was a hard-fought game, and credit the Ridgefield Tigers. You know, they came out with a hot start right away, and you talk about Caroline Colonel making her presence known early on off that face-off, gets a quick goal to put the Ridgefield Tigers up 1-0, and they didn't really look back from there. So it was a great win for this girls program at Ridgefield High School, and you know it's going to help for the younger players who are just coming up now, especially the youth program. That's going to be a big win. It's a big leap for the Ridgefield Tigers as they go on to the FCAC final.
We're going to have more on that later in the show, but for right now, let's talk about the second semifinal game. It was the number 1 seed Darien Blue Wave, the number 5 Staples Wreckers. Staples getting a nice showing from a couple of their freshmen and junior goaltender Alexa Morrow, but other than that, it was all Darien, a 23-4 victory for the Wave. And Kevin, really, you had 9 different Darien players scoring. Coach Lindley was able to go to the bench very early in this one. They outscored the Wreckers 10-0 in that second half. They're now outscoring opponents 47-7 through the first 2 games of the FCAC tournament. I mean, we're seeing something special here. That's really the only way to look at this right now. Oh, certainly. This is a team that's almost near unstoppable. You know, this Darien Blue Wave team, especially not only on the girls' side, but the boys' side too. We talk about them later on the show. This lacrosse program is just unbelievable. They're playing lights out right now, and you know you're right. It is fun to watch between these both sides, between the boys and the girls. The girls last night just looked near unstoppable from the get-go. Right away, you talk about Nicole and Ashley Humphrey, Katie Ramsey, the 3 of them really stood out to me. You know, Carly Schudel made some great saves. That's going to boost her confidence going into the final against Ridgefield. That's an interesting matchup between Darien and Ridgefield now. You know, can they stop Caroline Colonel? That's a big, that's someone that even talking to the New Canaan coaching staff, they were, had a lot of high praise for her. But this Darien team, man, when they go in transition, Frank, my goodness, they cannot be stopped. And really what stood out to me was the depth we saw from Darien. All year long, it's been Fiore and Stein, and they got their goals yesterday, but it wasn't in times where they really needed them. They didn't have to carry the offense or ever step it up to end some kind of a Staples run. Right away, Nicole Humphrey jumped out. She led all scorers with 5 goals in the game, some of them extremely impressive, utilizing the spin move to her advantage. I thought Katie Ramsey, who only finished with 2 goals in the game, might have been the best player on the field all night. She was so good in the draw circle, really played well defensively, and it's the speed of Darien. I think that's what could get Ridgefield into a little bit of trouble, because there's the top speeds of the teams in the FCAC, and then there's Darien. And it's talking about a train compared to a car. Oh, right. They're on a whole nother level right now. You talk about the speed in transition. I thought the best goal they scored last night was when they scored the second goal, and you talk about Katie Ramsey and Nicole Humphrey. It was the 2 of them coming up together on a one duo punch. And you talk about Katie Ramsey gets the ball right around midfield, around the 50-yard line, and just makes a full-out sprint up to the goal. Nicole Humphrey is there on the break. Katie Ramsey, a perfect pass, and Nicole Humphrey, an even better finish. And you talk about that speed that Darien has. It's been on showcase not only last night, but all season. And you're right, they're on a whole nother level when it comes to the rest of the teams in the FCAC. So this is a fun Darien team to watch. This is a good time to be a Darien Blue Wave fan. 13-0 now in FCAC play this season. They have advanced to their 7th consecutive conference championship game. Here are the highlights from Darien's 23-4 win over number 5 Staples last night. In the right hand, shot up high, she scores! Tries to send one towards the front of the cage. Loose ball here. Open net. Unable to collect with Schudel. Heading to the front. Able to score is Kathleen Kazi. Now comes over to her younger sister, Ashley. Hard pass across. Jakes to the net. Morrow got a piece of it. Too strong. Jakes makes it 6-1. The Wave is rolling early.
Opportunity here. Expect her to shoot this one low.
Goes upstairs. Buries it under the bar. It is 8-1. Transition coming is Wazinski. Pass the middle. Humphrey. Shot on goal. Saved by Morrow. And she got it back.
My goodness, what a save.
Loose out in front. She made another save. How about the junior in net? Woo. Humphrey. As spinning around, Stein shoots down low, beats Morrow through the 5-hole, and Darien. Quick draw one here by the Wreckers. Bannon up ahead, trying to duck through a couple of checks. Passes off as they have possession. Shot from Kirby, score! Down, Fiore with it there. She's got Humphrey off to the left side. She's going to shoot instead, scores! As a pass out in front, going to the backhand, shoveling it in. It's Ashley Humphrey this time. Strike midnight on Staples' Cinderella story. Darien is going back to the FCAC championship. They will take on the number 6 Ridgefield Tigers. The final 23-4. So the Wave cruising with relative ease, and on the other side of the field, Kevin, I mean, Kyle Kirby, Kathleen Cozy, both freshmen, each scoring 2 goals for Staples. I thought the youngsters played very well. They stepped up, and Staples gave Darien a little bit of a run for their money, for lack of better terms. At the end of that first half, they traded blows back and forth a couple times. It was 13-4 after a couple late goals by the Wave, then stretched it. But Alexa Morrow in net, in my opinion, when you look at what the goalie situation is going to be moving forward in the FCAC, as great as Lexi Held has been, and Loveless and Greenwich, and you've got Cameron Blair coming back into Canaan, I think next year this is Morrow's conference to steal if she wants to.
You're right. You talk about, I'm glad we spoke about on the broadcast too last night about the younger players stepping up big for the Staples Wreckers. And it's just comes to show that in a year or two, you may see the Staples Wreckers, really be able to punch a ticket not only to the semifinals, but you could see them in the FCAC finals. This is a program that is really on the rise. And Morrow really had some eye-opening saves yesterday, and really impressive. Something to use for a highlight reel perhaps one day for her. And you talk about Kirby. I thought she played excellent. And it's the younger players that are stepping up. And how about this? They get to have a semifinal experience when they're freshmen. That could be crucial for when they're maybe juniors, seniors, maybe even next year when they're sophomores. That helps them already to get that FCAC playoff feel already when they're at that age, when they're so young. And that's rare, and it's a good thing. It's a positive note to take away from last night's loss. And I think you're going to start to see Staples really make a run for it in the next couple of years.
And the other thing too is you've now seen where the bar is set. They got a feel for how fast the game is, how talented the best team is, and now what they need to do to get up to that level. Looking at Darien just quickly one more time, the scary thing to me, if I'm the Ridgefield Tigers, looking at this roster and the box score from yesterday's game, 9 different Blue Wave players scored. You had a sophomore with 5 goals, a freshman with 3 goals, a junior with 3 goals, a sophomore with 2 goals. Emma Lesko did not score in yesterday's game. 23 Blue Wave goals, and none of them from the captain, Emma Lesko. That is a scary thought to me with how clutch of a player she has been this season, knowing what they can do without her heading into this championship game.
Well, she definitely did a nice job, especially in that first half, of getting players involved, I thought, and getting some nice assists there, working the ball around. Second half, I think maybe that's when you started to see her take it a little easy once the score got up to where it was. But yeah, the fact that Emma Lesko didn't have a big night in the stat sheet is scary to think about if you're the Ridgefield Tigers, and especially without having Christine Fiore only had 2 goals. But still, I thought Staples did a nice job. I noticed how they were doubling up on Fiore quite often in that game last night in the semifinal game against Staples, and I thought they did a nice job of shutting her down. But it's the depth that really is scary for the Blue Wave. The fact that 9 other players were in double figures, it truly is a scary thing, but it's a good thing to think about if you're the Blue Wave.
And of course, Carly Shootout, business as usual in net. She had another strong showing. Darien, they'll face Ridgefield. When we get back from break, we're going to take a look at Ridgefield's big win over New Canaan and last night's FCX semifinals right here on Nutmeg Sports on the HAN Network.
Part of banking well is doing good. That's why, with the support of local community partners, Bankwell has launched the Bankwell Pet Adoption Project to boost awareness about the hundreds of animals in local shelters that need a home. And when you donate to the cause using the Bankwell self-service coin machines, we'll match your donation. For details, visit mybankwell.com/pleaseadoptme. Bank smart, bank local, bank well.
Have a sports injury or a slip and fall that needs immediate care? Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care gives you direct access to an orthopedic specialist fast, without an appointment. Biking, golf, tennis, soccer, whatever the sports injury is, sprain or fracture, Coastal Ortho Express can help. Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care open Monday through Saturday, now at 3 locations: 131 Kings Highway North in Westport, the iPark building at 761 Main Avenue, Norwalk, and 36 Old Kings Highway South in Darien. Or go to coastalorthoexpress.com, like them on Facebook.
At the Milford Bank, we offer an extensive selection of lending products and services to meet virtually any need. Submit your application online in our Mortgage Web Center. Start to finish, you can apply for a loan in as little as 10 minutes. Our knowledgeable and helpful staff are available to meet with you at your convenience. To learn more about what we can do for you, stop by one of our Milford Bank offices or visit us at milfordbank.com. The Milford Bank, always there. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
When it comes to considering the outside of your home, just imagine the possibilities. Whether your dream is a stunning freeform pool or a tranquil, secluded garden, the team of professionals at Stonebridge Associates will make it a reality. We offer unparalleled landscape design and construction, masonry development, pools, spas, and water features, as well as landscape and garden maintenance. No other firm can offer the same level of creativity, quality, and personal attention. Discover the possibilities at stonebridgeassociates.net or call 203-544-8376 today.
Pizza to satisfy even the most demanding critics. Tuesday Pazza Pizza.
At InSports Trumbull, the game is always on inside. Sign-ups are now open for one of our most popular programs, the New England 80 Elite Lacrosse Division I and Division III Showcases. With D1 and D3 coaches in attendance, players will receive a 60-minute webinar with Director of Recruiting Hans Hansen, a custom NE80 penny, custom shorts, and a video of all games. Last year's event sold out quickly, so sign up now for the next showcase coming in January 2018. Like and follow us on Facebook.
If you're watching this broadcast, you're not alone. The HAN Network is available for 200,000 Connecticut cable customers on the Frontier Network, and we've also reached more than 2 million viewers on our free live streaming sports, news, and entertainment broadcasts. To reach our rapidly growing audience, contact Advertising Director Jessica Murrin at 203-273-7312 or email jessica@han.network.
We are back on the HAN Network, and for more on the other semifinal from the girls lacrosse last night, I will defer to Kevin Coleman, who gets to smile much bigger than I do today. Kevin.
Well, thank you, Frank. We got to see Ridgefield Tigers take on the New Canaan Rams in a great matchup at the 5 o'clock game. And it was the Ridgefield Tigers who came out early with Caroline Colonel playing really well. And she came off that quick face-off and scored that first goal that really got things going for the Ridgefield Tigers, and then never really looked back. And it was them defeating the New Canaan Rams, who, and I thought, Frank, was an upset, really. And, you know, New Canaan just looked like they were a little flat-footed when they came out of that game.
Definitely an upset, especially when you think about how well New Canaan played against Darien earlier this year. I think they got caught looking ahead. They had beaten Ridgefield handily last season in the FCX semis. They handled them earlier in the year. The weather might have been a factor. Cameron Blair did not look comfortable in net as she was picked apart in that first half. Again, Caroline O'Day running into some issues with the clears. But for me, Kevin, and we talked about this before the game, big players had to step up and have big games. Caroline Colonel, dominant yesterday. 5 goals, had an assist as well. Where was Campbell Armstrong?
That's a great point to bring up. And I thought the Ridgefield defense, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, but I thought they shut her down. And that was huge for the Ridgefield Tigers to do that. You always saw someone almost shadowing her at some points in the game, and she likes to come up in transition and do a little shimmy shake and move to that right side, and that's where she scores a lot of her goals. But last night, the Ridgefield Tigers definitely shut her down, and Carly Bucci as well. And, I thought the 2 players again that continue to play well are Gianna Bruno and Braden Dial.
You're right. Dial went off again. I thought she was the best player on the field for the Rams, but it was a game Ridgefield came out and took away from New Canaan right away. They were far and away the better team on the field in that one, and they absolutely deserve to be heading to the FCX Championship. It was a great 14-11 win. Let's look at the highlights from Ridgefield's FCX semifinal win on Monday night. The Tigers, they force a turnover. Colonel's got a ground ball looking towards the front of the cage. She's got a lane to the net. Shot on goal, and the first goal goes for Ridgefield.
There she is, Caroline Colonel. Even the bottom of your screen.
Has a shot down low and finished again. Off the free position, Tanian makes it 3-0. And we are only 3 minutes and 13 seconds in. Turning again, looking to shoot, shot down low, and Blair made the save. Ground ball opportunity still being popped around. Tigers have it, shot again, Picard scores. They're able to cross midfield.
Great passes here by the New Canaan Rams. Here's
They'll
Dial.
add one more. Dial in all alone, she scores. Bucci to the net, shot on goal, and she scores.
Great shot there, Canaan Rams defense.
Tanian to the front, Colonel, quick shot, she goes upstairs. 8-5 the lead. FCX Championship on the ice. They'd like to do it in lacrosse as well, and that's a good start. Armstrong inside, she's on the board, and the lead down to 1 for the first time. Pass to Colonel, opportunity, and she converts.
That all started with Slamenko.
That is 2016-2017. They will play for another championship. So a huge win for the Ridgefield program, advancing to their first ever FCX championship. The HA Network is proud to say we will be there with full coverage of tomorrow night's game. And Kevin, again, now you head up against a different kind of monster in Darien. But if Lexi Held continues to play as confidently as she is, they've got a chance. If Caroline Colonel can win draws and is able to score the way she did last night, they've got a chance. Defensively, though, you need to find a way to weather the storm. Darien is going to get their goals. It's how you respond and minimize the damage.
It is how you respond, I think, for the Ridgefield Tigers tomorrow night. And defensively, I thought Megan O'Hara needs to step up big for the Tigers. And again, the freshman Lexi Held, regardless of what happens, I think she has to be so proud, and the rest of the team and the coaching staff has to be so proud and lucky to have a great talent like that for the next couple of years. A freshman, again, just continue to amaze people with the talent that she continues to have week by week, getting better and better. And I think you're right. If she plays with enough confidence, there's no stopping the Ridgefield Tigers, perhaps.
It's going to be a very exciting matchup. 7 p.m. at Norwalk High tomorrow night. The HA Network will be on the air at 6:50 with the pregame. Kevin and I are going to take one more break. When we get back, we look ahead to this afternoon's boys semifinal games, which will be played at at Brian McMahon. 5 o'clock for Ridgefield and Greenwich. 7:30 for Darien and Wilton. Coming up next on the HAN Network.
Want a new experience in car buying? Skep Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram with one of the largest inventories of new 2- and 4-door Wranglers. We are Connecticut's Wrangler headquarters. Come visit our new Ram Truck Center. Browse our websites, skepchryslerjeep.com or skepdodge.net to find the new Jeep, Chrysler Dodge car, minivan, or Ram truck you've been looking for. Just 2 miles from both I-95 or the Merritt Parkway exit 44. Save thousands right now during the Drive and Discover event. Now through May 31st.
At Budget Blinds, we're in business to frame the light, the day, and the night. So we give you an exclusive combination of high style, expert service, our no surprises pricing, and our no questions asked warranty. We believe that everyone, at every budget, deserves style and service. Isn't that a beautiful place to be?
You don't have to go far for authentic Neapolitan cuisine and renowned wood-fire pizza. Pizzeria Loretano of Bethel is a contemporary Italian bistro, specializing in authentic wood-fired brick oven pizza Napolitana. Pizzeria Loretano was named one of America's top 1,000 Italian restaurants in 2008 by Zagat, and recommended by Jane and Michael Stern on National Public Radio's Splendid Table. Located close to the Bethel Cinema, we focus on quality, and our food is always made to order. Join us for live jazz Sundays from 6 to 8. Find our schedule, menu, and more at pizzerialoretano.com, and like us on Facebook.
The new fishing season is fast approaching, so it's time to head over to the dock shop and get your gear in order. We're now offering bait in both Darien and our Westport location. The dock shop can service and repair your rods and reels, spool up new line, and fill any empty space you might have in your tackle box. Whether you're a fisherman, boater, or beach bum, the dock shop is a unique place to shop. The dock shop, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, 609 Riverside Avenue, Westport, dockshop.com.
Spring has sprung at Walter Stewart's Market, and we're celebrating the new season with fresh takes on spring. From the finest produce around to guaranteed fresh seafood delivered daily by the best local supplier. Not only are we your time-saving one-stop shop for everything you need this season, our personable team is always ready with a helping hand. Shop Stewart's for the best of spring. Find us at 229 Elm Street, New Canaan, or shop online at stewartsmarket.com.
La France de Charles Trenet, c'est la France de tous les Français.
I can't believe it.
Well, Dad, you did it. You sold 160 cars. Ready to go back upstairs now?
I think it's time. I wonder how the boys are making out in their new office.
Not what I had in mind, Kyle. What, Dad?
Maybe we should retire. Right now, lease a 2017 Rogue S for only $139 a month. Isn't it time you got Millerized?
I'm John Kovach. I'm a newspaper editor. I'm a high school football coach. I'm a television presenter. And I want you to love fishing as much as I do. Tune into Yankee Fisherman, Thursdays at 1 on the HAN network. It's like going to the tackle shop without leaving your office.
We are back on Nutmeg Sports on the HAN network, getting ready for tonight's FCIAC semifinals in boys lacrosse. First up, it will be the Ridgefield Tigers and the Greenwich Cardinals. Kev, we caught round one of this matchup, a very exciting game, went to overtime. Jack Fita so strong in that game. He's continued that success here into the playoffs. He had 6 goals against Trumbull in the quarterfinals, 10 goals total against Trumbull last week. Ridgefield, the 4-goal comeback in the fourth before falling in overtime. I'm guessing they can't afford to fall behind like that again today.
No, they can't, especially, even if they move on to the finals and either they play Wilton or Darien. When you play these 3 teams, these are 3 teams you do not want to fall behind to, because it's going to be a tough uphill battle to climb back from. And tonight, especially in the first game, getting the jitters out of the way early on for the Ridgefield Tigers is key, but they cannot fall behind early.
What I did like about Ridgefield in their comeback win over Staples in the quarterfinals, Drew Fowler, 5 assists in that game. When we've seen Ridgefield this year, Fowler hasn't necessarily struggled, but has not been at his best facilitating the offense. He's clicking right now. He and Wes Carpenter are on the same page, who had 5 goals. I like the Tigers' odds if the offense is running through Fowler and he can operate from behind the net. And up front for me then on the other side, Triscari has got to be the best player for Greenwich, and Bailey Savio needs to continue his success in the draw circle, 22 of 25 on faceoffs against Trumbull.
Savio has been so much fun to watch this year, and I've really enjoyed watching him play in the faceoff circle. He's just so deadly there, and that's one of the big reasons why Greenwich is in the semifinals right now is because of him. And I think tonight, if Ridgefield can't win those faceoffs, it's going to be a tough thing because going up against one of the best, and I think he's easily one of the best in the faceoff circle, it's going to be a tough battle for the Tigers tonight.
Should be a lot of fun. That is our first game at 5 o'clock. After that now, Wilton, after knocking off New Canaan, takes on number 1 Darien. How does Wilton win tonight, Kevin?
Getting off to a fast start again like they did against New Canaan. And I thought once they scored those first 2 goals, I really thought the total mood swing changed, and New Canaan almost felt like they were down 10-0, and it was only 2. And I thought Wilton did a great job defensively. They were physical. They showed that from the get-go. And I think tonight, when they come out against the number 1 team here in Darien, they have to be more physical. Lay down some hits, prove the message that they're here to play against one of the top teams in the nation.
48 straight wins for the Blue Wave, 2 more to make it 50, 2 more for a 4th straight FCI championship. Andrew Calabrese was phenomenal in that quarterfinal win over the Rams. He's going to have to really stand on his head tonight. Kevin Lindley coming off a 7-goal performance in the quarterfinals, giving him 75 this season. That set the single-season school record at Darien. Charlie Howe, before that, scored 73 in 2000. Logan McGovern's been so good all year. They're on the same page. Finley Collins, one of the best athletes in the conference in that midfield. He's going to be involved defensively and offensively. And again, it's the transition game. If Wilton can find a way to just slow down Darien in transition, not necessarily sit on the ball and have these elongated possessions, but just the way they rode New Canaan and got them out of sync, if they can do that with Darien tonight, they have a big shot at pulling off a major upset, one of the biggest we will have seen in quite some time in the conference. That game is at 7:30. Again, the action is at Brian McMahon. Kevin and I, we are about to take off and head down that way. We're on the air at 4:50 from the home of the Senators. It'll be Ridgefield and Greenwich first, followed by Darien and Wilton. And I do want to give a shout out to head coach Chris Rurik, because December 30th this year, we'll be at the Greenwich Skating Club for the Winter Classic, baby.
Nice.
Once a Cardinal, always a Cardinal. We'll see you tomorrow on Nutmeg Sports.